Hi, Smells Red Song. Where the Michelle Birdsong instrument close to you. You're looking at Jesus Christ, the 21st century, Grinding G. I was talking about, this is part 3 of David Icke and Rose McGowan interview, excerpts. And I was talking about when I was on stage at 9 years old trying to give a speech, and I was filled with terror. Now, there's more than one story going on here. This is just the way, this is automatic writing, and this is just the way it is. Okay, so I said, my eyes registered seeing a sea of undifferentiated faces. Then I focused on one little boy's face. My eyes saw his annoyance. N for North, C for Carolina, E for event. In North Carolina, event, I saw annoyance. And in Queens with Suzanne Kissing, and in New Jersey with Daphne Nathanson. Okay, annoyance. A-N for Angel Michelle, N for entered, O for orders, Y for I, A-N for answered, N for N, and N for North, and C for Carolina, and E for event. Okay. Annoyances. Annoyance on Satsangis, Nancy Monroe Bush Gross, in North Carolina event. Angel Michelle entered orders. Oh, wait a minute. Angel Michelle entered no orders. I answered in North Carolina event. Okay. I had no orders to get into Baba G. Grinding in North Carolina. But I sure did. After those people snubbed me, and he came on stage, I didn't care about being snubbed. I didn't care at all. I just cared about looking at him and seeing him and feeling total joy and waves of love. Okay, now Rose McGowan says, I was so shocked. She's talking about when Harvey Weinstein was raping her or making a pass for her. I'm not sure what he did. They didn't say. But he was somehow imposing himself on her. I was so shocked. My body and my mind, you split off from yourself to save yourself, she says. It's also a form of self-protection. The host says, so when people say, why didn't you run? She says, he's 6'4", 250 pounds against you. I pray it never happens to people. But if it does, you too might freeze like a statue. Weinstein point blank denies your allegations against him. The idea it wasn't consensual. No, the idea it was consensual. That word consensual repulses me, says Rose McGowan. It's so not the case. Not the truth. Everyone around him knows that too. The host says, how important to you that there's a conviction? Honestly, she says, I'd just prefer if he fell off the planet. That would make life more easier. That would be more satisfying than if someone like him ceased to exist. Someone who's brought pain to so many. Note, Peter Helen did a video where he quoted the Bible saying, the theater is wicked, and so are actors. They are liars. So if these girls who sold their bodies to Weinstein and his ilk for parts in movies, for fame and fortune, had said no, They would have been doing right not to act like someone they are not to act a lie for money. Note, I didn't know the entertainment industry of acting was evil, but my grandson Lou, who had been Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., said, drama is insane. He said it's crazy. Drama's crazy. But I have presented my lyrics on What It Is, the album, Edwin Birdsong's album, songs, and the songs I Loved You, Miss Frog, and the song I Believe in You. They are truthful lyrics, as well as my videos on YouTube. The pop lullaby for children is make-believe. It's called Jenny Blue Eyes, but it's interactive, so the children can stop and discuss their feelings and thoughts about what is being presented to them. Rose McGowan says, a conviction? I'm cautiously optimistic because rich people buy off justice all the time. Note, I hope we stop allowing rich people to buy off justice. If he gets off, says McGowan, it will be a travesty. I never had a vendetta against him for myself, but for what he did to others. For some reason, I can feel it more deeply what he did to others. I feel it deeply. I had nightmares for years, still get them occasionally. Wake up in cold sweats, my hair's wet, having to change the sheets. For that whole year of Me Too, everybody in all walks of life, and not just women, said, Me Too. The patriarchy just needs to go. It's so boring already. Rose McGowan admits she's a feminist. She said, toxic masculinity isn't just men, it's women and trans. It's the paradigm that needs to be smashed. Paradigm means a typical example or pattern of something, a model. There is a new paradigm for public art in this country. Note, you should see the art, the photo collages displayed here at St. Francis of Assisi Residence 3 in Chelsea, Manhattan, New York. Each photo tells a story. Paradigm synonyms: model, pattern, example, standard, prototype, archetype, ideal, gauge, criterion, paragon, and exemplar. Rose McGowan says, I see men getting better and better as humans. Note, people say men are being programmed to be masculine. They would program men to be feminine, encouraging them to play with dolls and wear dresses, as if they are no different than women. McGowan, has a big ego. She thinks she's smart enough to change the world, and she presumes it would be for the better. Jesus Christ, Govinda Singh, Dylan, said, it's not how much you know that counts in the court of the Lord. It's how much you love. McGowan was raised in a cult in Italy called Children of God. She said she is and always has been a rebel. I presume she rebels at the idea of God. You're looking at a picture of God, by the way. I watched 2 interviews of hers, and she hasn't mentioned God yet. We, my brother, God, Son, Archangel Gabriel, you're looking at him, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, and I, Eve, Mother of the Earth, Venus, Goddess of Love, archetype, Archangel Michelle, daughter of the Sun, God, are authorized and guided by our Father, the Son, God, to change the world. Those who cease to believe in God believe in anything, said Chester. Rose McGowan says it's okay to sit in the king's chair if you earn it. I think Govinda Singh, the Buddha Jesus Christ, has earned the king's chair. As a matter of fact, he's a king of kings. Note, it's okay to sit in the queen's chair if you earn it. The wife of Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene, Eve, mother of the earth, who gave us a true bloodline. I think she's earned her chair too. Her husband is a king, so she's a queen. McGowan says, I think the way to earn it is by being a positive force for change in the world. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your neighbor. The host says, let's say we put you in charge of changing the world. What's on your list? Potentially politics, she says. I really want people, if your life is a piece of fabric, look at your thoughts, your beliefs, your fears, threads, what are organic and what are implanted, and take what's implanted out. Host, isn't all knowledge synthetic, implanted in us? Some of it's good. McGowan says, I feel I have belief systems in me that came from me growing up. Maybe it is. I think because the cult I grew up in was so intense, I could see it for what it was, whereas those people who grew up in a watered-down version of a cult can't see it for what it is. I think I can get them to see that they are much freer than they even can dream. Host, what's the biggest hurdle? McGowan, people don't really like change. They fight against it. I don't know, against all odds, I have a lot of hope for humanity. Host, is politics something in your mind? McGowan, it is, and I may go back to school, get a double major, political science and journalism. Host, with a view to running for office? McGowan, yes. Maybe the Senate, maybe the presidency. Note, John Hancock, now Will Smith. For president. He's from the pure bloodline, Seth, third and perfect son of Adam and Eve, is Will Smith. Okay, let's move right along. Page 13. McGowan, who brags that she's a rebel, wants to be president. Has she ever been married? Has she any children? Where is she capable of leading us? I would run as a Republican, she said. I don't agree with them. I'd rather infiltrate the side that's against me versus an echo chamber. I'm a Democrat, she says. David Icke talks about the Satanists who infiltrate our institutions and take them over. McGowan says, I like a hard fight. I like to think, what is the hardest road I can take? Republican. I'll take that one. Note, she presumes the Republicans are stupid enough to be won over by a self-confessed infiltrating Democrat. Hubris. McGowan, I agree with less government in your life and less taxes. Unfortunately, that's not how we ended up. Note,